Hello, hope everyone is doing okay. So we've had a few inquiries from applicants who are starting in September about whether we can give some recommended reading for you to do over the summer, particularly as you are stuck in lockdown with not much to do. So that's what we've been putting together. So for each subject area, we've tried to put together a key textbook or two, and then some more specific readings that you might want to do. So with these, we're definitely not saying you have to go and buy these. These are just, if you're interested in doing some reading, these are the books we would recommend. So hopefully you'll be able to find them cheaply secondhand on the internet somewhere. But again, we're not expecting you don't have to go out and buy these. Most, if not all, will be available in the university library when you start. So these are just some recommendations for if you want to go out and buy some of the books. These are some of the recommendations. Okay, so we'll start off with books related to human geography. So obviously if you're doing BA Geography or BA Human Geography, particularly aimed at you here, but also if you're doing BSc Geography or BSc Physical Geography, you will be doing some human geography in your degree, at least in the first year. So this might be of interest to you as well. So these are the two kind of more general textbooks that you might be interested in having a look at. And then also here we've got some more specific readings. So the book on Hull, that was written by or edited by some of our academics in the department. So that was released to coincide with when Hull was City of Culture. So that looks at the changes that have occurred in Hull, so looking at historical and cultural geography there. Another of our academics in the department has helped to write this book on urban geography. So if you're interested in urban geography, that's what we would recommend. And then this Prisoners of Geography book, this was on most of your personal statements, and most of you seem to have really enjoyed that. So if you haven't read that already, I would recommend doing that because a lot of people really do get a lot out of that. Okay, so moving on to physical geography books. So again, if you're doing BSc Geography or BSc Physical Geography, particularly aimed at you here, but also if you are doing BA Geography, BA Human Geography, again, at least in first year, you'll be doing some physical geography. If you're doing BSc Environmental Science, this would also be a useful book for you to read. And if you're doing particularly geology with physical geography, this would be a useful book. So this is there's a lot in this book, goes into most, if not all, the topics we would look into. So this is a really nice overview book. So that's definitely the textbook we would recommend. And then I've got some popular science books here, just some examples. So the one on the Anthropocene, I've read that. It's really, really interesting. Looking at the Anthropocene, so this period now that we might actually officially define as the Anthropocene, the era of the humans, because we've had so much impact on the environment. So that's a really nice book which summarises the Anthropocene, gives examples of the impact that we've had on the environment. And that one in the middle, that's just one of the books, one of the many books published on climate change recently. So that's an interesting one if you're interested in climate change. And then you've probably seen before, there's this very short introduction series of books. So there's one on rivers here, but there's one on climate change. There's one on loads of different topics. So if you're interested in certain parts of geography in particular and want to read about that over the summer, go and have a look at all the different topics that very short introduction series offers. Okay, so for environmental science, again, that physical geography textbook I showed would be useful for you. Those popular science books I just talked about would be useful. But in terms of a textbook specifically for environmental science, this is the key reading that we would recommend here. And then finally for geology, so again, particularly if you're doing geology with physical geography, some of the stuff we've talked about with the physical geography reading would be recommended for you as well. But in terms of a key geology textbook, this is the one that we are recommending. And then in terms of other reading, one thing is geoscienceforthefuture.com, which is a website created by Tasha, one of our geology lecturers. So that's really worth checking out. There's some really good blogs on there. And then also, if you're interested in volcanoes, we're recommending this website, a series of blogs, again, on volcanoes. So you can see there at the top there, the website address in the company of volcanoes.blogspot.com. So that's a really good one to check out as well. So if you have any questions, if you want any more reading, or if you have any questions at all at any time, please do give me an email, and I'll be happy to help you.